She walked from silent fields to hearts.
Eva Perón's story began far from the grand balconies of power and the cheering crowds that would one day call her name. She entered the world on May 7, 1919, in the small rural town of Los Toldos, Argentina. Born into poverty and social prejudice, she learned from childhood that life could be deeply unfair. The loss of her father and the hardships faced by her family forced her to grow up quickly. Yet even in those difficult years, there was something extraordinary in the young girl who refused to believe that her future would be defined by the circumstances of her birth. While many accepted the limits imposed upon them, Eva dreamed of a different life. She believed that somewhere beyond the endless plains of Argentina, opportunity was waiting. As a teenager, carrying little more than hope and determination, she left her hometown for Buenos Aires. The capital was a city filled with ambition, but also disappointment. Thousands arrived seeking success, and most were forgotten. Eva refused to become one of them. Her early years in Buenos Aires were filled with uncertainty. She worked tirelessly, searching for opportunities in theater, film, and radio. Rejection became a familiar companion, yet every setback strengthened her resolve. Gradually, her voice and charisma earned recognition on Argentine radio, where she became one of the country's most admired performers. For the first time, people listened not only to her words, but also to the emotion behind them. She had discovered the power of communication, a gift that would later transform her nation. History often changes through unexpected encounters. In 1944, during a charity event organized after a devastating earthquake, Eva met Colonel Juan Perón. Their meeting would alter both of their lives and ultimately the history of Argentina. What united them was not simply affection, but a shared belief that ordinary people deserve dignity, opportunity, and recognition. Together, they envisioned a country where those who had long been ignored could finally be heard. When Juan Perón became president, Eva entered the Casa Rosada not as a traditional first lady, but as an active participant in public life. She rejected the expectation that she should remain a ceremonial figure. Instead, she walked into hospitals, factories, schools, and neighborhoods where poverty had become a daily reality. She met workers, mothers, children, and the elderly face to face. She listened before she spoke. To millions of Argentinians, she became more than a political figure. She became someone who genuinely cared. The Eva Perón Foundation soon became one of the largest charitable organizations in the country. Homes were built. Hospitals welcomed those who had nowhere else to turn. Children received clothing, books, and medical care. Scholarships opened doors that had once seemed permanently closed. Critics questioned her methods, supporters praised her compassion, but one fact remained undeniable. Countless lives were directly touched by her efforts. Perhaps her most enduring achievement reached beyond charity. Eva believed that women deserved not only respect, but also an equal voice in shaping the future of their nation. She became one of the leading advocates for women's political participation in Argentina. When women gained the right to vote, it marked more than a legal reform. It represented a profound shift in the country's democratic history. Eva encouraged women to organize, participate, and believe that their opinions mattered. Through the Women's Peronist Party, she inspired thousands who had previously remained outside political life. As her influence grew, so did the expectations placed upon her. Millions of supporters called for her to become vice president, seeing her as the natural representative of the people. Yet behind her public appearances, a silent battle had already begun. Eva was suffering from cancer. While her health rapidly declined, she continued working with remarkable determination. Every speech demanded enormous physical strength. Every public appearance came at an increasingly painful personal cost. Few realized how much she was sacrificing simply to remain beside the people she believed she served. On July 26, 1952, Eva Perón died at only 33 years of age. Argentina fell into mourning. Vast crowds filled the streets, waiting for hours to say goodbye. Across the nation, tears flowed from people who believed they had lost not only a public figure, but someone who had understood their struggles. Her funeral became one of the largest public ceremonies in Argentine history, reflecting the extraordinary emotional bond she had formed with millions. Even after her death, Eva's story refused to end. Political change brought uncertainty, and her embalmed body disappeared from public view for many years, secretly moved across continents before eventually returning to Argentina. Few historical figures have experienced such an extraordinary journey after death. Yet even during those years of absence, her memory remained alive in songs, photographs, literature, conversations, and the hearts of those who continued to call her simply Evita. Decades have passed, but Eva Perón continues to inspire historians, artists, filmmakers, writers, and ordinary people around the world. Some remember her as a champion of the poor. Others admire her determination to expand opportunities for women. Many see her as proof that compassion and leadership can exist together. Like many influential historical figures, her legacy continues to inspire discussion and differing interpretations. Yet regardless of perspective, her influence on Argentina's social and political history remains undeniable. The story of Eva Perón is not ultimately about politics. It is about possibility. It is about a young girl who refused to let poverty define her future, a woman who transformed personal hardship into public service, and a leader who believed that even the most forgotten voices deserved to be heard. Her life reminds us that greatness is not measured only by power or titles, but by the number of lives touched with dignity, hope, and compassion. History remembers many rulers. It remembers many celebrities. But only a few people become symbols whose names continue to represent courage long after their own lifetime has ended. Eva Perón became one of those rare women. Her journey reminds us that a single determined individual, guided by empathy and unwavering conviction, can leave an imprint that reaches far beyond one nation and continues to inspire generations across the world.
A heart that never turned away. Evita, Evita.